Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to my yoga time. Today's flow into crow pose was requested, thank you. And before we begin, I just want to have a quick chat about how you can best support your wrists and your elbows in your arm balances. So we want to create bandhas around our wrists and elbows. So on a physical level, this is when the opposite muscles around the joint engage to protect the joint. So for your wrists, you'll obviously have your fingers spread wide and you really want to press into the pads of the fingers, almost like your hands are making creating a little suction cup. So the middle part of your palm might start to lift a little, and that's okay. And then if you can find that very subtle action of trying to turn the heels of the palms in towards each other, that's going to flow through to the elbows and give you a little more engagement around the elbows, a little more protection. So I've got 2 blocks for this practice. When you're ready, let's begin. Coming down onto your back and moving into supported bridge pose. Let's lengthen and warm the back. So just beginning on the flat side there, and we'll take a hold of your left leg, and if it feels okay for your back, straighten and relax the right leg. So starting to warm through the hips as well here. Let's gently rock that left leg from side to side. Now is a good time to gently place the very tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Feeling space in between the top and bottom teeth. Gently toning the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. And let's change sides. Lower left leg down, recruit the right. Same as before, feel free to rock from side to side. So our body always responds well to slow, repetitive movement. And let's release that right leg. So a few breaths here, either bending both knees or straightening both legs. Arms can be by your side. Feel free to take Chin Mudra, connecting the tip of the thumb to the index finger. Or of course you can float those arms above the head. Here for 3 breaths, and witness the 4 parts to those breaths. So the inhalation and pause, exhalation and pause. And when you're ready, let's bend those knees. Pick up those heels and the hips together. Keep the heels high as you remove the block and lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Once touched down, collect those knees. Fingertips point towards the feet. On your exhalation, bend the elbows. On the inhalation, straighten the arms. And if your back needs longer, please take it. Otherwise, recruit your block once again and place it now in between the thighs. So we're going to press the lower back down into the mat. Engage Mula Bandha, so tone at your base around the genitals. Squeeze the thigh in on the blocks. Option 1 is here. Option 2, lift the upper body off the mat. Feel free to take your mudra. And if you're looking for a little more juice, straighten those legs. Feel free to take the drishti to the toes, just lifting the chin slightly. Keep breathing, keep the jaw relaxed. And let's lower down. Remove your block And bring those legs into butterfly now, soles of the feet to meet, knees to fall out wide. Always an option to place your blocks under those legs if your hips need a little support. Let's interlace the fingers at the belly. On the inhalation, float the arms above the head. Pause, and on the exhalation, lower those arms back down. Last one, arms above the head here. We'll hold it here for the exhalation as well. And as you exhale, engage Mula Bandha. Then lower those hands down. Lift the upper body off the mat and we'll just alternate knee taps. And lower down. Legs can come a little closer together. Let's draw the left knee into the chest, straighten and relax the right leg. So option 1, you'll draw that knee close towards the armpit if you can. Option 2, half happy baby. So you can either pistol grip that big toe or reach for the outside blade of the foot. Now we want the shin to be vertical, the heel above the knee if we can. Breathe down into the hips, the thighs. Well done. Keep a hold of that knee. Just move your hips a little to the left and then we'll twist to the right. Option to use your block under the leg for support. Here for 3 breaths. And then coming back to center. Let's draw the right knee in now. Straightening the left, either taking that knee nice and wide down towards the armpit or coming into your half happy baby. So whichever part of the body has caught your awareness is where you're sending the breath. And let's move into our twist. Hips shuffle just a touch to the right before the knee comes down to the left. Deepen the breath into the lower belly, the lower back. And coming back to center. Let's make our way up to seated now. Feel free to cross at the ankles and hold those big toes if you can. Rock and roll. Coming all the way up. And we'll move over onto all fours. So coming into your tabletop. And let's practice those little bandhas now around the wrists and around the elbows. So fingers spread wide, press into the pads of the fingers and almost try and squeeze the pads of the fingers in a little towards each other. Again, you might feel the middle part of the palm lift just a touch. Then try to turn the heels of the elbows towards one another. You're not actually going to lift up the palm and move it, it's just moving in that direction. From there, engage Mula Bandha and let's pick up those knees. So you almost want to feel as though you're trying to hug the arms and the legs in towards each other and the center line of the body. Well done. Lower those knees down. Take the knees wide. Let's tuck the tailbone under. Send those hips back for a brief child's pose. Reach the arms out in front and keep the palms lifted, so just on your fingertips, and find little pulses there through the fingertips. So it's a little wrist therapy. Well done. Ground those palms down. Return to tabletop. Curling toes under this time. Let's inhale. Exhale to round. Lift those hips up. And we'll walk those feet to the top of the mat. Half lift on the inhalation. Nice flat back. Either fingertips on the floor or hands on the knees. And exhale to fold. Let's reverse swan dive. So we'll move through our sun salutation to warm the body. Surya Namaskar A. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale to fold. Half lift. Forward fold, left leg back. Let's make it a low lunge, knee to the mat. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands down. High lunge, step back into your plank. So here we want to feel that same sensation through the wrists, through the elbows. So press into the pads of the fingers, heels of the palms turn in. You can round the upper back here. Bring the body forward a little and elbows brush the ribs as we come all the way down. Inhale, lifting up, baby cobra. Same action here. Try and turn those heels of the palms in. Pull the hands back. And let's lower. Move back into plank via the knees and then downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Look forward, step through. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg up. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse swan dive. One more on the other side. Right leg back. Try and pull that right knee forward and the left heel back as you come up into your lunge. Press into the pads of the fingers. Make sure those elbows brush the ribs as you lower. Inhale into your baby cobra. So certainly your chaturangas are a great way to start to build strength in the upper body. And even if you don't practice a crow pose for a couple of months, all your chaturangas in between will definitely help to build that strength. Let's lower down, find your plank, round out the back here. Treat this as an opportunity to counter stretch the spine briefly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Look forward, step through, left knee to the mat. And left leg up. Half lift. Forward fold. Reverse swan dive. And let's continue to flow. Low lunge, left leg back. Inhale the arms up. So from this low lunge, we'll take a twist. Option one, you can take your left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand to your low back, or you can take the hands into prayer. Feel free to use your right hand to push that leg over so that you can better hook your left elbow. Let's return to center. Recruit your blocks now. Take them to the high side. We'll step that left leg in a little bit closer, coming into your pyramid pose. So hands under the shoulders. Gently press the feet away from one another, and as you inhale, lift the heart and the tailbone a little. And then as you exhale, folding down. Turning the blocks to your preferred height. If you can, bringing your belly to meet your thigh. Gently press the palms down and forward and feel the armpits engage. You start to create a little bandha around the shoulders as well. And from here, option to come into your balance pose, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. So left hand to the hip, right hand has the block. Reach that block about a foot in front of your right foot, and then raise your left leg up. So you're stacking the hip, left hip above the right. Dorsal flex your left foot. So to help switch on the obliques here, try and drag your right hand back towards the foot. And of course, if you don't need the block, you can take those fingertips to the floor. If you're really stable, you'll start to play with hovering those fingertips just off the floor. And of course, option to extend that left arm up to the ceiling, or you might even like to take a quad stretch here. Bend that left knee, take a hold of the foot, and kick the foot into the hand. Breathe. If you have the foot, let's release. And we'll transition into Warrior Two. Left foot down. Take that left arm back into the space behind you. Right knee out so that you can see that big toe. And a little more wrist therapy, a little nerve tensioning here. Palms up. Push the heels of the palms away from the body. Roll the shoulders forward and down a little. Then take Chin Mudra, roll the wrists, roll the shoulders. Try and move the elbows back. And then lower hands down, interlace the fingers, lifting the heart. Either staying here or diving forward, Humble Warrior. Drishti to the big toe on the inside of your leg. Well done. Release those hands down. Move your block out of the way. Step it back into your plank. So descending once again, option to come all the way down to the mat and move into your baby cobra. Or as you lower, just hover an inch above the floor. Then roll over those feet for your up dog. So remember, your legs are not on the mat for up dog, just your feet and hands. Well done. Return to plank, round out the back, pressing into the pads of the fingers, and moving into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Look forward, step through. Low lunge, right knee down. Moving into your twist, again, either left hand to the low back, or you can bring those hands into prayer. Let's return to center. Recruit your blocks. Stepping up into your pyramid pose, so back foot on a 45-degree angle. Let's inhale up as high as we can. Gently press the feet away from each other and exhale to fold. Adjust your blocks. So if your palms meet the floor with ease, I still want you to be able to push them down and forward. So you can do that with or without the blocks. Blocks are certainly not a handicap. They complement everyone's practice, no matter how experienced you are. Breathing into the back, into the hamstrings. And option to step into your half moon pose, either with or without your block. And if you're just starting to practice this pose, a few steps in, maybe with that back leg, otherwise lifting straight up. So right hip on top of the left, the foot's dorsal flexed. Feel free to float that right arm up. Try and draw your left hand back towards the left foot. And if you did so on the other side, you can bend the knee and take that quad stretch. Kicking the foot into the hand and opening the heart. Let's release. Warrior two. So the slow and smooth transitions also help to build our overall strength. Let's turn the heels of the palms up. Push them away, pull the fingers back, roll the shoulders forward and down. Take your mudra, roll the wrists, roll the shoulders. And interlace the hands behind you, lift the heart. Exhaling, humble warrior. And let's release. Just move that block to the side, step it back into your plank. Shortening the front side of the body, rounding the back side. Engage that bandha around your wrists, your elbows. Exhaling down, back bend of your choice. And downward facing dog. From here, let's walk those feet up towards the hands. Have the feet hip width apart. A few choices here. You can always recruit your blocks if you like. Otherwise, we're in the pistol grip, the big toes. So middle finger and pointer finger loop around the insides of the big toes. If you can, elbows will bend out to the side. So feel here as though you're trying to slide the feet away from one another. Gently lift the tailbone. Lift the shoulders towards the hips. Let the head hang. From here, release the grip of the toes. Take the toes wider, so the heels are under the shoulders, toes pointing out to the side, and start to bend the knees as you lower the hips down, coming into your yogi squat, malasana. So gently pressing those elbows into the knees, and try and squeeze the knees back into the elbows. Create a little resistance there. So that little resistance is helping you to create a lock, a bandha. Draw the shoulders down. And then we'll give those hips a little rest. Return to your forward fold, so hips up. Heel toe those feet back in underneath the shoulders. Option to pistol grip those toes once again, or you might like to interlace the fingers behind the back and then straightening the arms. And let's release. Return to your yogi squat. And from here, we'll move into our crow pose. So hands will come down underneath the shoulders. Again, fingers spread wide, pressing into the pads of the fingers. Try to turn the heels of the palms in. And then come up high onto your toes and start to push the very top of your shin in behind the bicep there. So when we're first beginning our crow pose, we'll have the elbows bent just a little, and then just begin to rock forwards and backwards. Of course, practicing this at home, you might like to place a pillow or a bolster or something in front, just in case you take a fall. And even this simple action of transferring the weight into the hands, still keeping my toes on the mat, this is helping you to build strength. You almost want to feel like you're hugging a beach ball in between your arms and legs. Now, if you're stable, maybe you can float one foot up off the floor and then just alternate slowly. In time, both feet will lift. Make sure your drishti is just in front, not straight down, or that's where you'll go. Mula bandha engaged. And whenever you're ready, you can release. So they are the steps to practicing your crow pose. You might not get both feet off the ground for a few months, and that's okay. Be patient with yourself. Everything you do in between is still helping to build that strength. Let's take those hips up once again. Now, if you can, I want you to place the hands underneath the feet. Bend the knees if you need to. And we want the toes to meet the creases of the wrists. And you can do a little wiggle there with your toes. A little self-massage. And you might even like to feel as though you're trying to pull your hands out from underneath your feet. Well done. Release those hands. Let's move into our downward facing dog. Lower those knees to the mat. Sit back on the heels if you can, or if you prefer a cross-legged position, and just bring those hands to prayer. We'll point the fingers down and then up. You might like to interlace the fingers, find a circular motion through the wrists. And begin to slow down our practice now. Come into a wide-legged position. If you need to lighten the pose, you can always sit yourself up on the block. Maybe bring the legs a little closer, or even pop a block underneath those knees. Option 1, you'll stay upright. Option 2 will fold forward, keeping knees and toes pointing to the ceiling, and do engage those quads, so pull up the kneecaps. So having this range of motion to fold forward will largely depend on the formation of your hip joints. So for some yogis, no matter how much yoga they practice, this might not be achievable, and that is okay. Feel free to stay upright. If you can lower to your block or blocks, do so. And let's turn the palms up here, finding Chin Mudra. Follow your next inhalation out of the pose. Hands underneath those knees. Cross right leg in front of the left leg. Try and stack the feet under the knees if you can. You've crossed the legs at the calves, not at the ankles. Again, if your hips are tight, you might be sitting yourself up on the block. Little flexion here through the feet. If it's available for you, stack your right foot on top of the left instead. Push the feet down and send them in the opposite direction, either staying upright or folding forward. Allowing the back to round. Either staying in the center or coming into a little bit of a side bend. Walk the hands over to your right. A little lift in the right armpit. Feel free to stay there, or final option, you might like to come into a twist, placing the elbow into the sole of the foot. Hands coming to prayer. let's release. We'll change the cross of the legs. So either left leg in front or left foot on top. Feet pressed down, send the left foot to the right, right foot to the left. Fold forward. Option to walk the hands over to the right. Option to take that twist. And let's release. Well done. A moment to swish those knees from side to side. And then we'll recline onto our blocks in an upper back bend. So I'm having my blocks parallel to one another. Bottom one is directly underneath the shoulders. If you need to lighten the pose, take the block under the head higher. If you'd like to deepen the pose, just use one block underneath the shoulders. Bring the back of the head to the mat. Arms out to the side, connecting index finger and thumb. And when you're ready to release the pose, bend the knees. Either roll off to one side or tucking in the chin halfway up. Remove the block and recline. Let's cross right leg over the left leg. Hips shift to the right, knees come down to the left. If you can, move the back of the head to the left and then turn your head to the right. Inhaling back to center. Shifting the hips a little to the left, changing the cross of your legs, and over to the right. Inhaling back to center. I like to place one block under each leg for Shavasana, but of course you can just lay flat on the floor if you prefer. Shoulders tucking under. Palms facing the ceiling. Softening the tongue and jaw. Letting the eyes roll back. And just be. Inhaling a little deeper now. Feel free to rock the head from side to side or wiggle toes and fingers. Following those urges to move and stretch any which way. When you're ready, rolling to your preferred side and then finding your way up to seated. Thanks yogis once again for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoyed that class, and as always I do welcome class requests. So if there's something you want to focus on, a particular pose or strengthening a particular part of the body, please do let me know in the comments below. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Wishing you a lovely day.